Well, welcome back to the MAJO podcast, Real, Raw, Unfiltered. I'm Derek, and I'm here with Jason as always. Chris couldn't make it tonight. He got high and went to sleep. So,
So here we are.
so here we are. So, and naturally, instead of being organized and professional, we just started talking about life feeling really heavy, and realized this might actually be the episode for tonight. So, well, because I don't know when exactly this happened, but somewhere along the way, adulthood started feeling less like living and more like managing stuff: bills, work, schedules, responsibilities, stress. Trying to survive the week so you can be tired somewhere else this weekend. And I think a lot of people are quietly asking themselves the same question: when did life stop feeling fun? Like real fun, not distraction, not scrolling, not zoning out for 2 hours before bed. I mean, actually enjoying your life. So tonight we're talking about that: the pressure, the routine, losing parts of yourself, and why so many adults feel emotionally exhausted even when everything looks fine on paper. And if that already feels a little too relatable, then you know what to do. Hit that follow button, or that way, whichever way it is on the screen you're looking at. Because apparently this is cheaper than therapy. So, um, so let's get into it. So, first question for the night: did you have a completely different picture of adulthood when you were younger?
Always, of course. Yeah, we couldn't
Mm.
wait to make our own adult money and do the adult things because we thought adulting was so fun. You could stay up late and nobody told you what to do. And now as an adult, I'm just wishing somebody to tell me what to do so that I could know exactly what to do because whenever we're supposed to be looking for the adult in the room, I'm still looking for the adult in the room. I'm like, oh shit, that's supposed to be me? Cool, got it. Because listen, I'm 50 on paper. I am
Mm-hmm.
not the adult that you. I'm not the dude that irons his boxers and buys like a reasonable economic car on purpose and all that other shit. Like that is not. I'm not that guy. I will never be that guy. Like I look at those people and I'm
Mm.
like, huh. I wonder what it's like to be that together. And I'm just
Right,
never going to
right.
be that. Like there was a dude. I used to laugh when I was working at Geico. There was a dude that came in. I mean, he was probably just a little bit younger than I was, but I'm talking about like creased khakis, iron dress shoes every day, and we did not have that kind of dress code. And he button up shirts and little
Mm.
sweaters over top. It was like I'm just like, damn, son. Like he probably irons his boxers and does the things, and like
Mhm,
that's too grown up for me. Like I don't know what that's about.
mhm. Yeah, that seems a little
Yeah,
drastic.
I'm just like,
I
man.
mean, I used to crease my khakis back in the day when it was a gangster thing to do, but
Yeah, no, this dude was like pressed and dressed and ready to go, and I'm like, dog, we're just answering insurance questions on the phone, bro. Like, we don't face
nobody's
customers.
seeing your
Nobody's ever
pants.
gonna see us, bro. Like, we're not.
Right.
We're in a bullpen at like
Uh,
7,500 other people, dog. Like nobody's looking at your pants.
mm,
Like
right.
I'm sitting
He
there,
was really waiting for the real life moment where the wife got in there was like, "What are you wearing?" And he's like,
right?
"Khakis."
I'm sitting there in shorts and a t-shirt. This fool's fully dressed like he's ready to go to somebody's business meeting. I'm like, all right, man, cool. Like, do you?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I mean that's an interesting question. What did I think adulthood would be like? What was the picture of adulthood? I mean, yeah, I think part of it is the not having anybody tell you what to do, and that's some BS. You're always gonna have somebody tell you what to do. Um, and then I think there was like the idealized vacation and being able to go on vacation and do all the things and have all the stuff, and it's like no, just I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting difference. I think it's gonna be fun, and it's not that it's not fun sometimes, but like the majority of the time that they don't tell you, it's just
Right.
monotonous.
Well, now so then tell you that you're trading in your parents telling you what to do for your wife telling you what to do, or your kids or your grandkids. It's just other people's schedule dictate
Mhm.
your shit. So it's just another version of them telling you what to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And listen,
Yeah.
like life is different when you're paying for everything. Like my son is learning that. He's 23 years old, and now when it's time for him to whip the card out, shit starts getting real cheap. We
Right.
don't we
Right.
don't we don't worry about the brands anymore. We don't worry about what it is. We start shopping on the bottom shelf.
Mhm.
When his card comes
Mhm.
out, it's like, yeah, yeah, medium's fine.
Right. Right.
Like, oh, you sure?
Oh, great value tastes just the same.
Right. Great value craft. It's all the same. Like, no, it's not, but
Uh-huh.
it hits the same when your card's paying.
Uh-huh. When you know yeah, when your bank account don't know no better, it tastes just fine.
That's like his girlfriend the other day. His girlfriend's like, she came out, she's like, "I'm so tired." She goes, "I thought of like 5 different reasons to call out of work today." I said, "Yeah, but you know what?" I said, "Light bills don't give a shit if you're tired. Electric company, the water
Mhm.
company, car insurance, they don't give two shits that you're tired." I said, "So that's why I sit right here in front of this computer at my desk because
Mhm.
I'm tired too,
Mhm.
but they don't care."
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think that that's a part of the picturehood either, is how much you just gotta keep working.
Uh-huh.
You gotta keep working, cause yeah, they don't care
Well,
how tired you are as an adult.
like nobody let us know that was gonna happen. Like I used to laugh at like my parents and grandparents, like when they like my dad is like take naps and like fall asleep, just doze off. I always be like, man, I
Mhm.
was tired all the time. And I'm like, now that I'm old, I'm like, shit, I get it.
Mhm. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand because I too nap.
Yeah, man. Mhm. Right. I was trying to take a nap before the episode.
I did take a nap for that.
I got
I've been out of bed
uh-uh.
today a total of like 45 minutes. And I've been home all day.
And that was the 45 minutes of pre-show that we just did before we figured out what we are gonna talk about. Uh,
Mm,
yeah. Hmm. At what point do you think life started feeling like maintenance?
Man, probably a lot later for me than it should have.
Mm,
I think it was probably well, like, because you can think about it, like, when Sarah and I got together, I was working when she was going to college, doing her thing, and, we had my daughter, and then our son came, shortly after, and then we just kinda freewheeled it because, like, her grandmother like, we lived in a house that her grandmother left her, so we didn't have a house payment. We didn't really have a lot of bills,
mhm,
so to speak. So, I just remember
mhm,
back then being just kinda blowing from like not really knowing what I wanted to do with my life or not really needing there was no urgency for me to figure it out because
right,
there was nothing, there was nobody knocking at the door being like, hey, you got to pay this, do this, figure this out, hit this. And we were just kind of floating. Like we had our parents were our daycare. We didn't have to have daycare. Like we had a great support system, a great network. So it wasn't until we finally, like Sarah had graduated, got her degree, started like really working and earning like real money that we started
mm,
realizing, oh, hey, we can start doing some things now that are going to be a little different. Like we can start upgrading, you know, some parts of our life that we've kind of been slacking on now that,
right,
some of this other stuff's out of the way. And once we got to that part is when things shifted. That's when things
mm,
started things needed to be a little more steady. Moves needed to be a lot more, kind of calculated, kind of that stuff. And it was then probably around then. So I was in my 30s before we really started having to lock in.
mhm, yeah. I think it probably hit me earlier than that. I mean, we lived with my mom for a while until we lived with her. Well, we moved out early on, but we had like Section 8 housing early on when we were like 18,
So
19.
I was
Then
like,
we
yeah, it was
finally
like you
moved down
had
here to
five fucking kids by the time you were 20. Yeah, you had to have it figured out. Of course you had to have it
yeah,
figured out.
yeah, yeah. That was just with Elisha. Then we moved in with mom when we finally moved to the city, and then once we moved out, I think we were how old was I when I went to NOC? 21, 2021. We moved out, and we ain't never moved back. So I think that's when it really started hitting into maintenance. Where I was still going to college and stuff like that, but there was definitely that like I couldn't do what everybody else was doing,
Oh yeah.
you know. And something you said a minute ago, it was like Uh, what was it that you just said? Something about getting upgrading the lifestyle a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Part of me was like, man, I wish we would have never upgraded. I wish we,
Listen,
I wish we would have made more money and just
listen,
stayed the way it was.
listen. The world would be a much different place had we had done that. Or at least
Uh-huh.
our world would have been. But like,
Right.
because even then we were talking about it because we weighed the options because you got to think about it. This was back in 2012, so the world was a way different
Mhm.
place back then. So we were looking at
Mhm.
it and we were like, we could kind of fix the house we have, add on to it, do the things, and it was going to cost us as much as buying the new house we bought in Yukon was.
Mm.
So we found a nicer house with a pool and everything we wanted already done and just decided, well, we'll just, make the switch. And the plan was we were going to keep that house and eventually Shay was going to move into it. And then Jordan was going to move into it. When she got done, it was going to be everybody's little starter house. But then,
Ah,
we
okay.
let Sarah's brother move into it, which was not a bad thing. Sarah's crackhead cousin came in, ran her brother out of it, and then destroyed it, stole all the appliances, and tore it all up. And then we ended up just basically giving it away damn near.
Is that why it looked like
Oh yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. Her
Wow.
he moved in and stole every appliance, ripped a we had a wall unit, but it was a different type of. It was like a window unit, but they built it into the wall of the house. It would
Mhm.
cool the whole
Mhm.
downstairs in that from that little dining room.
Mhm.
And he ripped that whole shit out of the wall and just left the hole open. It was a gaping like 2 foot by 4 foot hole in the wall, and he just left it there just for anything to get in and out of, and just stole the stove, the everything.
That's
Oh yeah,
wild.
yeah, that is so.
I know you were happy
I
about
was
that.
thrilled. So, but yeah, I mean, we ended up down there giving it away, and I mean, it's beautiful
Mm.
now. Like there's
I
some
see it.
yeah,
Yeah, it's over there.
a
Yeah.
guy that owns a landscaping company moved into it, and he rebuilt the whole thing and just completely made it gorgeous. But
Mhm.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, had we not so that's kind of why we looked at it that way. It's like we could spend that money here, or we could move, to a little better situation and
Mhm.
do that. And even then, if we had just stayed and done that, it would have been better than what it is now
Yeah.
with all the changes.
Yeah,
But
I'm mostly talking right now about my car. Oh, I'm like, I should have I love my car, but a part of me is like, man, I should just went to Tulsa. I shouldn't have even went out there and looked. I should have just went to Tulsa like I was supposed
my
to.
bad,
Yeah,
it's all
yeah.
my fault.
Uh, uh-huh. Because I had a whole plan of getting out of debt and doing all that stuff, and now it's just like, oh, I gotta spend 20 grand on a supercharger. Uh Oh, yeah. My son was telling me last night, he was like, "You're not gonna spend that on a supercharger. You're just gonna get you a different car with a supercharger." I'm like, "I'm not spending 100 grand on a supercharged car. Them cars is crazy nowadays at how much they're costing for that. I'd rather spend 20, 30 grand to upgrade this one
Right. Well, and that's the
because
that's the whole
I am
problem.
not doing that."
Is that the way they're making them now is they make them how they want to make them, and then they lock everything so you can't even do anything to it when you upgrade it. If you
Mhm.
do something different from outside of
Mhm.
their upgrades, you can't change anything about the computer or anything. So what's the point?
Mm. Mm-mm.
Not
Yeah,
selling me
see,
no
no, I'm not doing
untunable
all that.
car.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, so I think maintenance has been which is tough, right? Because I mean, which I guess it's not tough. It is tough, but it's like also what's the word I'm looking for? Like bittersweet kind
yeah,
of. I think at this point in my life because like I didn't have that period of time where I wasn't worried about anything. I've been in maintenance mode for so long but getting to see my kids not have to be in maintenance mode and they're going out and enjoying life and doing those different things like that. That's where the bittersweet comes in because a part of me like it's like, man, I wish I could have done that. And then another part of me is like, I'm just happy they're getting to, you know what I'm saying? But there is some grief, I think, wrapped up a little bit in it of like just not being able to experience some of that stuff in my 20s. Um, that now I'm really in kind of a I think I'm at that point what you were talking about where I'm like, man, I got to buckle down. I really got to get out of debt and I got to get focused on retirement because I don't want to work my entire life. I want to enjoy it at some point where it's just me and Sheena. Um, which is going to be, yeah, still got 5, 6 years left till then, but
yeah. No,
oh God.
honestly, I get that, but the thing about it that's funny to me is what I've noticed about the younger generations is they're not in a hurry to upgrade. They just want to live like they're happy
Mhm,
living in with like I think probably the best thing that could have happened to like our oldest kids is the research like the not the resurgence, but the just the when Old Navy and all that shit came along and it wasn't like
mhm.
millions of dollars. Like they didn't have to have like I came from which I'm old, 10 years old you are, so um it
You
I'm
what?
10 years older than you are, so like my
Oh,
generation and your generation is different.
you're 6 years older than me. I'm about to be 44.
But like I came from the Giroux, like the $100 jeans and the fucking $80 shirts and the $100 shirts
Mhm,
and the when FUBU and all that stuff first came out and those shirts were $100 and my ass was in, in
mhm.
the buckle every week trying to put, clothes on layaway and all that stuff to buy the news of because I'm still in school or whatever, trying to get all this stuff. But, when Old Navy and all that stuff came along and that stuff was super cheap, that lowered kids' expectations of thinking that they had to be all this stuff that they're not. And
Mm,
now, Sheen and fast fashion and all that stuff came about and Fashion Nova and all that shit. And they're like, yeah, this is my $6 outfit. And it's like, cool. And they're just happy as shit. They're not trying to have
right,
to live up to something that they thought, like I did. And that I think to me is
right.
probably the best thing that could have happened to them, not thinking that they had to become a billionaire, or they had to have this or had to have that. Like, they grow up watching, Kardashians and all that dumb shit. And they see, these girls in Sweet 16, my Super Sweet 16 getting like, Bentleys and Mercedes and shit for their 16th birthday for no reason at all. And then,
Right.
then you find out that, luckily none of that rubbed off on them thinking that that's what they had to have. Like my kids have been just super calm about all that, except for, but my son is my fault. I corrupted my son into thinking he has to have a, 6-second drag car to drive to work and back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. You had said something that kinda sparked that same thought of, like, that's another part of, like, this, um the upgrade deal that I think that I'm appreciative of of the new generation. I think a lot of people from our generation and older hate about the new generation, but they're also not gonna work themselves to the bone. Like, they're going to most of them are probably going to give you what you pay them for, and if you want them to do something else, they may consider it, but they're not going to. Like my son, he's been at Best Buy for a while now, and his manager has been promising him that he's going to move him up. And so he gave him a key and he's having him do all this stuff. And now it's been about 8 months since he first
But
promised
there's
him he
no
was going to
change
move
in
him
the
up.
check or the title.
And there's no change in the check or the
Just
title.
the
And I don't
responsibilities.
even know if it's been 8 months. It's probably been six or so. And he finally went to him and was like, "Hey, what's up?" And the manager was like, "Well, you have to do that to even get considered." And he was like, "No,
Mm-mm.
like you told me 6 months ago that you were going to do it. If I started doing that, you were going to work on getting me moved up. That's why I started to do it." He's like, "I never said that." And he's like, "Oh, all right. Well, watch me not do anything that you're asking me to do above my pay grade."
Right.
So, and he gave the key back and he started doing just what he's supposed to do with his position. And he's not doing anything else until they come back and offer him to move up. And he's like, "Well, if you don't do all the extra stuff I want you to do, then there's not going to be any possibility." And my son pulled out uh, the job description of like the next level up for him. And he's like, "Tell me on this list what I'm not doing." And the dude the dude couldn't even say anything because and so Derek started going through it and reading it, and he hit every single thing it was required for him to move up to that level.
Yeah.
And he's like, "If you're not going to move me up, I'm not doing all
Right.
this. There's no reason why I shouldn't be moved up." And I think a lot of the newer generation has that mentality
Yeah.
that I think that we were kind of brainwashed with is our
Oh yeah.
our parents, they used to battle who it was cool to have the most overtime and be at work the most and neglect your family the most and all that stuff. And so we got a little bit of that, but the new generation, they don't have that. They're like,
Mm,
no, we want to balance, we want to have fun still, and we want to work and afford things, but we also want to have fun.
yeah.
And so that's the one thing I think I appreciate about that's bittersweet also having to go through that piece, but also seeing that impact on the kids, how they're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So,
No, it is good.
why do you
Like my son was talking. We
yeah.
were talking about it the other day, and I said, he was like, "Man," he's like, "I've already gotten a raise and doing this thing like they're already talking about. Like I'm getting more responsibilities and stuff." And I was like, "That's cool." I said because, like, sadly enough, like in today's world, you don't have to do a whole lot to get noticed. Like you just have to do your job.
Mhm,
Keep your mouth shut, show
mhm,
up and do your job, and you'll outwork
mhm,
half of the fucking people that you work with because they don't. They want to complain. They want
mhm,
to call in. They want to do the thing. Like they want to do all this extra shit and be all whiny about it. And if you do, like, all you
mhm,
have to do is show up and do what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to do. And you're going to get noticed. And you're like, well,
mhm,
you're always here and you always do the things and you don't complain. And it's like, yeah, that's how that works. But
mhm.
that's,
Right.
I'm learning from that though, because with this new job that I have, like I could legitimately work all the time and it wouldn't be enough. Like I could go on there right now. I probably have 40 some odd emails sitting there waiting on me to work right now. And I could do them. But the problem with that is
Mhm,
come Monday morning, I'm gonna have 40 more waiting. So I'm like, I just tried to,
mm,
but I've gotten to the point where, and I've been a break time, lunchtime, quit time, I'm gone. But this
mhm,
job has changed because I'll work through lunch. I don't take breaks. I don't do any of that stuff. I just sit there and just work and work and work until I look up and I'll be like, well, shit, it's been like 4.5 hours. No wonder I'm starving to death. Like I haven't eaten anything. I'm out of water.
mm,
I'm out of the things. Like I just haven't noticed. And it's like, well, now I've had to put that shit into perspective because I was getting to the point where I was like, damn, I was like, I worked myself to one point to the one day where I almost, like, I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom right now or I, I'm gonna piss my pants. And I was like, that's stupid.
mhm,
Why am I doing this? Like,
mhm,
other people take breaks
mhm,
and go to the bathroom. Like nobody at my job would have been like, no, you shouldn't have gone to the bathroom. You should have just sat there, put a diaper on and work. Like nobody's going to say shit like that. But in my mind, I'm like, just keep doing it,
mhm.
keep working and you'll catch up. But you're not going to catch up. So
Right,
shit, at this point, I'm like,
right.
listen, I'm going to show up at 8 o'clock. I'm leaving at 5 o'clock. I'm going to take lunch in there somewhere. Like it is what it is. Like I just can't, I cannot
Mhm,
continue to work myself like that, nor do I want to.
mhm. Bro, when I was at PetSmart back when I was younger, I think I was like 20 no, it was before I went to Tennessee, so probably 2021. It was when Bubba was born.
Yeah.
Bro, I would show up and I would work off the clock. I would come in and I would throw stuff off the clock because, we could only get 40 to 45 hours, but I was putting in 50 to 55. So I'd work 5 to 10 hours off the clock
Oh,
because I was trying to do everything above and beyond in order to try to move up and become a manager and all those things. And I look back now and I'm like, bro, nah, man, F that. F that. And that's where I think they're getting closer to I do agree with you. There's a lot of lazy people nowadays that are entitled and expect more than what they're willing to effort they're willing to give in return. And but I do think the generation does have some work ethic for when you're paying them.
mhm,
Like when my son is there, he's working.
yeah.
He's doing what he's supposed to do. But you're not gonna get him to work off the clock. You're not gonna get him to continue to do all these extra things and not compensate him
Yeah.
like they used to get us to do.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's good though because they're going to grow up with. I mean, even though the dynamic of the world has changed tremendously, I think the stress level and the health level of the newer generations is going to far exceed what ours was because we constantly live in that state of the stress of the shitty health because of the stress, because of the we're just not doing, we don't take care of ourselves, we don't do any of that stuff, and they do all that stuff. So that's awesome. Like everybody's so
Mhm.
conscious about the things and doing all the checkups and the health screenings and all that stuff. And that's fantastic. Like I love that. I love the fact that's at the forefront of their mind because, they're actually learning from examples of, previous generations.
Mhm. Mhm. Which that kinda goes into the question that came up next was like, do Do adults Jeez, do adults get so used to surviving that they stop realizing they're just
Oh,
surviving?
100%. Yeah, because you don't know. You can't
Mhm,
even tell. I can't even tell you when it happened. It just happens. Like one day, you just
mhm,
wake up. It's like that. Sarah showed me a video the other day about wives asking their husbands if they remember how to skip. Just skip, just a plain ass skip. You know how many people
mhm,
didn't know how to do it?
mhm.
99% of the people did not
Probably a
remember. Yeah,
bunch.
did not remember how to skip.
Mhm,
And I'm just like, "Dawg, you just don't. Stuff like that just doesn't. It just fades away. Like you just don't think about it because you're like, when's the last time I even did shit like that?
mhm,
You just don't because
mm,
one day it just becomes too
mm,
much and the avalanche just piles on little by little. I mean, that's the sad part is like when you watch snow accumulate, it accumulates a flake at a time until the next thing you know, it's 4 or 5 feet. But it all happened one flake at a time.
mhm.
And before you know it, all this shit's
Right.
just resting on top of it. And you're like, well, I can't remember the last time I did any of this stuff was. Because you just don't. I mean, it just
Mhm.
fades away.
Yeah.
It fades away. It doesn't just stop one day. It just fades away slowly because one flake after another flake after the other flake builds, and the next thing you know, you've got a blanket on top of you that you can't get off. But and you don't have a choice. Like you can't just stop the train and go, "Well, I'm going to have fun." Well, guess what? Like we said before we started recording,
Mhm.
the light bill doesn't give a shit if you want to have fun. The light bill's going to
Right.
still be due
Right.
on Monday.
Right. Right. Yeah. That snowflake deal definitely is a good metaphor because that's definitely how it
Yeah.
feels with all the responsibilities and everything and trying to keep track of all the bills and or, navigate it all. It definitely does. And it is one of those things like I remember and I know definitely money's different nowadays as far as what it's worth, but I'm like, I remember making half of what I make in a week in a month, and we were able to,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
navigate it all, and it wasn't like we had extra money left over, but it was, like, doable,
Mhm.
and it's like the more money that we made, then it was like this one extra thing, and then, more money ma then this one extra thing, and then this one extra thing, and then it's like, eat out a little bit,
Oh,
and then it's like, now we're not doing ramen and peanut butter and jelly anymore, we're doing steaks and this,
yep.
and it's like, bro, yeah. And then it's like the stress of all that just adds up to where it's like, fudge, bro.
Bro, me and Sarah clocked it the other day, and for us together to be making what we're making, and the fact that we're living paycheck to paycheck is obscene. It's obscene,
Mhm.
but it's because,
Mhm.
oh, let's just
Mhm.
grab that channel package. Oh, let's just grab that. Oh, that's a la carte. Let's just grab that. It's only $7 a month. And before you know it, that seven,
Mhm.
8, 10, $12 a month, $25 a month, that, oh, this is bumped up in a month or two. Oh, this is this and that. And next thing you know, like, dog, our car insurance is $1,800 a month. We pay more in car insurance
Mm.
than we pay in
Mm.
mortgage.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
Wow.
crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. Yeah.
It's bananas, but we also
Yeah.
have like 6 cars on there. And Jordan can't not
Mhm.
get a ticket every 20
Mhm.
minutes. So actually, none of us can not get a ticket every 20 minutes. Jordan's actually Jordan had we Sarah and I have each gotten tickets since the last time Jordan got a ticket. So we
Oh.
we have become the public
Y'all like
enemies.
the police, huh?
He
Y'all like paying the police extra money.
he drives like a grandma now, and I'm out here just getting lumped up.
Mhm. I had a dude ask me the other day, he's like, "How fast you got your car?" I'm like, "About 145." And he's like, "That's it?" And I'm like, "Man, I don't wanna go no faster than that."
Right.
And he's like, "I would just take the ticket." Because I said, "I don't wanna go no faster than that. I don't want that ticket." And he's like, "I would just pay the ticket." I'm like, "No,
You should be like, well, let me
I
get your
don't
name and
wanna see
number, and
what."
then when I get pulled over, I'm gonna make sure you pay the ticket.
Right, right. You see the insurance now, it's already $1,000 a month. I can imagine what it would be if they got a ticket or if they got a notification I was doing 163.
Right. Right.
Like, "Oh, really? You like to have fun." Not anymore.
Trust and
We'll
believe.
take extra money if you wanna give it
That's
away.
right. I like the damn ticket I got in
Oh,
Georgia.
mhm.
$812.
Yeah, no. See, I don't wanna do that.
No. And
I'd rather go buy a steak.
I was only doing 91.
Yeah, that's wild.
91 and a
That's
70
wild.
in Araby, Georgia. So if
$800.
anybody listening lives in Araby, Georgia, tell everyone that lives there to eat a dick. I should have a national day of remembrance in Araby, Georgia, because I
Uh-huh.
paid for a street sign or a street light or something in there because
Mhm.
I need a street.
But I think it goes to say, like, it seems like stress has become so normal now that yeah, they talk about self-care, but they also don't question the stress. They just like we've accepted stress as a normal part of life that it's like, okay, yeah, because we're gonna be stressed no matter what, take care of, do self-care.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which I think that's like, and I know this is coming from a very like, you know, first world point of view, you know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't have this much stress. But I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree with it where I'm like, I don't think that our life should be as stressful as it has become.
I mean, first world
Like,
problems or not, no, I don't get my drinking water from a puddle in the street. No, but
mhm,
listen, some of the stress may be of my own making. Yes. However, it still shouldn't be this fucking stressful. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't care what world you come from, first, second, or third. I don't give a shit. I don't
right,
care. Also,
right.
I've never heard of anybody say second world. It's either first world or third world.
I,
There
I
is
was
no
just
second
about to
world.
say the same
There is
thing.
no, somebody explain to us what a second world is because I have never heard it. It's either
I
first
was
world or third
just literally, I was like, when he's done talking, I'm like, what's a second world? Is there a second world?
So it
Because
sounds
I
like
haven't ever experienced.
you're listening to respond, not to understand. So we need to talk about that a little bit more. We need to address that in this week's cussings, I should say.
uh,
No, but I mean, like the thing about it, like the stress gets to a point where like self care doesn't even fucking do it. Like you can't even self
mm,
care doesn't even relieve the stress. It works for a minute.
mhm,
It lets you disconnect
mhm,
for a minute, but the second that you get done and get back in the car from whatever your self care routine is, everything just hits you
mhm,
back again. You just get smacked with it. It's just like, oh shit, no, just kidding.
mhm.
That was cool. It's a cool escape for a minute,
Yep.
but
Right. Yeah. Exactly. 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 I can go get a massage, and that's gonna be a nice 50-minute massage. But after that 50 minutes, I'm back in the car, and yeah, I feel relaxed, but all the stress is still there from everything that was outside the room for that 50
yeah,
minutes.
minute 55, you're strapping the backpack of stress right back on and going, well, shit, now I got to go do
Mm-hmm.
this. And I get,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that the world was meant to necessarily be that way. But we can get a whole nother conversation about that. Because that might start a revolution. Um, hmm. But I guess with stress being so normalized, I do think that it kind of feeds into kind of some of the topics we've been talking about, which is men tending to minimize how overwhelmed they actually
Oh,
are.
yeah. Yeah. Cause we don't think anybody
And
cares.
why and I mean, yeah, and I wonder, the question popped in my head when you said it is like, do people really care?
No, cause they have their own shit to worry about. Nobody wants to hear
Mhm.
about how stressed you are when they're stressed. They're just as stressed, which is also what keeps men from
Mhm.
reaching out and going, hey, man, I need to talk about this. We bottle it
Right.
up because I'm like, well, shit, you got as many problems as I got. So why am I gonna
Mhm.
bother you with it? That's the same thing. Like
Mhm.
when I got sick and wound up in the hospital, like Sarah was telling people, but I didn't tell anybody because what I
Mhm.
bother you for what? You can't you can't fix it. You're not a doctor, and you got
Mhm.
enough shit to worry about. I'm gonna add my shit to it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's just hard.
Yeah.
It's hard that way because we we feel the outlet from talking about it, but we also it adds to the stress level because we feel like we're burdening other people with our bullshit. So at the same time,
Right.
it's a wash. Like it doesn't really fix any of the issues because at the same time we're still just as stressed because now we feel like we've bothered you with our shit and we didn't really resolve anything. Like, yeah, I got to vent for a minute, and it feels a little bit better that way. But then I still feel bad because I bothered you. But it's like, well, shit.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I think part of it's, like, outside of emotional well, I mean, that's even complicated because, like, I get my role as a therapist, and I understand why it's important for people and why it's needed and why people need a therapist, and also it's, like, it's kind of a sad deal and kind of a frustrating deal that people can't get that outside of the room. Like, I wish I didn't need a job. I wish I didn't need the job I have. Another part of me is glad I have the job that I have because I can be that person for people. But it really is like outside of the room, it really is like people have their own that the narrative is people have their own stuff. They don't need your extra stuff added on top of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, no, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Like, that's how you feel, especially
Mhm.
with marriage stuff. Because what's going to happen? She's going to
Mhm.
go to her bitter friend who's probably single or unhappy in her marriage, and she's going to get some bullshit advice. And the dude's just going to be like, "Well, she's not blowing you. Go find somebody that will." And then that's it is what it is. Like, if she doesn't do
Right.
that thing you like, well, guess what? There's 100 other bitches out there that will,
Somebody that
and somebody
will.
that will. For every no, there's a
Mhm.
yes. But yeah, I mean, and that's
Right.
the thing. I mean,
Somewhere out there.
yeah, and that's just no good can come of outside of that type of shit relationship advice because
Right.
that's 9 times out of 10, a woman that's trying to find or complain about something is going to find just the right bitter beer faced friend that's going to be like, "Ah, well, you didn't deserve to be treated that way." And they create issues that weren't really
Mhm.
there that could have been solved with a
Mhm.
conversation. If she just would have been like, "Hey, listen, I don't like the way you're doing this, or this is making me unhappy, or I don't feel like we're connected, or we're happy, or whatever." Instead, they just start trying to find shit that'll fulfill the whatever issue that they're having, or void they're feeling, when they could have just had a
Mhm.
conversation and filled the void inside in the house.
Right. 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 I don't know why that phrase "you deserve" gets on my nerves so much. I deserve, like, why do you
You
think you
deserve to be
deserve
treated like the
anything?
queen that you are. Fuck that guy. I don't care that you've been together for 30 years. Who gives a shit? Throw it all
Mhm. You
away.
deserve better. Why do you think you deserve better? What about you
Shouldn't it
anyway?
be we
Sorry.
deserve?
Right,
We
right.
deserve to
Or
thrive in a better environment instead of I deserve for you to do the dishes.
well well, not even well, yes, right, if we're gonna do something, it's we, but it's even like the idea of deserve,
Yeah.
like, is such an entitled way of thinking. "I deserve to be treated better." Says who?
I'd be like saying,
Could you go find somebody or can you create a relationship in which you are treated better? Yes, but to deserve something
yes.
isn't
You still had to work to create the environment in
right.
which you feel like you deserve. So why don't you just work
Right.
that shit inside your house?
Right. Right. Yeah, I think that's kind of what the this is such an off-topic conversation right now, but I'm like, yeah, you don't it's like the idea of I deserve to be treated better. No, you have to create that.
Yeah,
You have to create the relationship in which you're treated better. You don't just get to sit there and say, I deserve this. And because in deserve, there's this idea or this expectation other person is going to do that without you doing
yeah,
anything. Now, I agree. Everyone should be treated with respect just because they're human.
sure,
So maybe that as a human, you deserve to be treated with respect and outside of that, though, I don't know that you deserve to be treated any other way.
right. Yeah, no,
And it creates this entitled thing in this relationship that if I'm not being treated this way that I deserve to be treated, then yeah. Anyway, yeah.
no. I mean,
Sorry, off topic.
no, it's a different. But I mean, you're not wrong. It's a different situation. It's just one of those deals where
Right.
it just it can it takes work on both sides to get what you want. Like, you can't just sit back and go, "Well, you
Mhm.
need to do this better." Well, I'm sure there's lots of shit you need to do better too. But until you're ready to each listen to what each of you need to do better, then you're living in what you got.
Right. Right. Anyway, Sorry, ADHD moment. So there was, thinking about that skipping idea. Uh, the question came over my mind of like how do people slowly start losing parts of themselves trying to become an adult or trying to do adult things or trying to be responsible? And that's kind of one of those examples right there. And right now I'm trying to. So I used to write poetry, and I've always been, even as a kid, I would write poetry. And how long ago was that? It was 2012, maybe. When did I graduate? 2010, 2011, I think was the last time I wrote anything. And it really is just like becoming a responsible adult. And so now I have an event coming up in 2 weeks. They asked me to come and do poetry. First time in 15 years, bro. And so I'm trying to, and I don't know where my poetry book is at with all my old
Oh
stuff.
no.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting here trying to tap into this part of myself that has not been tapped
In a
into
hot minute. Yeah.
in over a decade, bro. And it is really freaking difficult.
Yeah.
It is difficult
Hmm.
to tap into because I've been so focused on getting things done and getting a degree and getting licensed and paying bills and doing this and doing that. Not that I didn't have that back then, but it's just different that now it's like, man, I'm trying to become creative, and that part of my brain has just not been worked out in so long. And I wonder how common that is for people that they just lose parts of themselves
Wow.
as they get older. And that skipping, I think, in
Yeah.
this is a perfect example of that.
No, 100%. Yeah. I mean, and it doesn't matter how often you do it. Like, think about, I grew up on a bike. I lived on
Mm,
a bike. Like, from the minute my eyes opened in the morning, I was on my bike until the time the
mhm.
streetlights came on. It was time for me to put it up in the garage. And, but shit, I get on one right now. I don't give a shit what they say. It's like riding a bike. Nah, son.
Mm.
I'd be rusty as shit. I
Yeah,
used to do all the
and I
tricks, all the things, all the I used to be able to wheelie my entire block, no hands, doing all the shit. I guarantee you now.
just ramp
Oh
up
yeah, oh
things,
yeah,
ramp off of
oh yeah,
things.
oh yeah. Our ramps back in the day were a piece of plywood and six bricks, and then you put stuff in the
Mhm.
middle, and you
Yep.
hit a landing ramp on the other side, and hope you made it.
Right. Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Not smart at all, but it sure was
it was a
fun, boy.
blast. I had a good time. Now I'm
Man.
seeing kids and all like they build like professional ramps for kids now. Like that's cool.
Mhm.
Like, but where's the adventure in that?
Mhm. I remember that. So the Marlin Mansion's in Ponca City, and there in the back of it, there's this hill, and we used to always go. It was so bad that there was a trail in the hill going up from us ramping off that hill, but you would get it was all concrete leading up to it, so you could go and as fast as you can and just go up that hill and jump it and jump over. I remember we used to do that all the time, bro. No fear, no worry, no nothing. We just doing it.
Hmm.
I'm like, there was some freedom in that.
Hey, lots of freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think back to it now. I'm just
Mhm.
like, man, because it was something about I saw a meme the other day. It was talking about growing up in the '80s and how it was, and like this was social media, and it was everybody's bikes in one person's front yard. It's like that's how you know everybody
Mhm.
was at.
Mhm.
That was the social media back in the day.
Right. Right. Mm. Hmm. That's funny. When was the last time that you felt fully present and alive instead of distracted?
I have been tapping into that more lately because I feel like I have been so present for everybody else that I have not been for myself. And it
Mm,
was really hard for me. So I have found out that I do lately, like even something as easy as just going to eat or whatever. Like my phone rarely leaves my pocket. Most people get, sit down and where they're like trying to order or waiting for their food or whatever, their phones come out, they start doing shit. And I just don't. Like Sarah still will, she'll
mhm,
still do her thing. And like I just sit there. I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Cause I need to be because I feel like I was losing that part. Like I was so involved in other people's journeys and life and what they had going on and problems they were having, which is fine. Like I signed up for that. So I love that part of what I do. for the
Mhm.
bariatric community and for other people, people that I just am close with. You know, being an ear for people or being a sounding board or whatever it may be. Like I love that, I do, but I am getting to a point where I have to ration it because I'm not being like I started really feeling like shit. I can't even sit down and watch one 45-minute episode of a show without pausing it 4, 5, 6 times, 7 times because I'm having to answer
Mhm.
messages or answer a phone call or answer a text message or video chat or whatever the hell. I'm just like, this this shit's like it's
Mhm.
cool, but at the same time, it's like eventually it weighs on you. You're just like, I like 45 minutes of uninterrupted just to myself for 45 minutes. I can't get
Right.
and that
Right.
and it takes that type of interaction or that type of situation to for it to really come into or at least it did for me for it to come into perspective because I was just like it's cool like as being a people pleaser and somebody that wants to be there for people and help people like there's no better drug
Mhm.
than that. Oh, you're going to help people all the time, you just stay connected and mainline that shit and just get to help as many people as you can reach out to. Awesome.
Mhm.
And then you start feeling the burnout. You're just like, golly, like this shit's getting intense. Like I can't even
Mhm.
when you really sit down and think about what you used to be able to do in terms of just being disconnected and just doing whatever it is you needed to do and getting something done. Like
Right.
to when you really think back to what like how that's not a thing now. You're just like, oh shit. I can't remember the last time I
Mhm.
just did this and it wasn't like nobody needed me.
Mhm.
But yeah, it took that for me to really snap it into perspective and be like, oh shit, well, I think I'm doing too much.
Right. I don't know. You think that has to do with the stage of like how old you are?
Probably.
Like and some of the health stuff that you've went through?
Probably. I'm sure it's probably that plus just if you think about the broad spectrum of running support groups, you know, 2 of
Mhm.
those, sometimes 3 of those a week, depending on the week. Um, and just on top of that, answering questions from, you know, people throughout the week, throughout the day, throughout, you know, whatever that may be, and just making sure that I'm available for everybody that may need something, you know, it just gets to a point where you start thinking, we just really dial it down and be like, damn, like I really am always on. Like there's always something that
Mhm.
needs attention.
Right. Right. I was sitting here I was sitting here thinking trying to think about when the last time somebody, like, genuinely was, like, checked in, like, what's going on in your world, like, in my immediate fam, like, people who live here, like, "Just how are you doing?" It's like, I don't know if I can think about the last time I was outside my therapist. Right? But thinking about the idea of being fully present and alive, the thought that came to my mind was there was a when we went to Catalina Island, a few years ago out in California, and we went parasailing, and I remember thinking that it was gonna be like this adrenaline rush to do the parasailing, and it was the complete opposite. It was, like, so peaceful. Yeah. You would think it would be like this adrenaline
Yeah.
rush, you go on flying, all
Right.
this stuff, but as soon as you lift off, it's just like you floating. And I just remember looking around the ocean, looking around the island and everything like that, and just kind of like that was a time I think I was fully present and just alive in that moment. But it's hard, man. It's hard to and I think this last week that we were in Florida, when me and Sheena went to Epcot, even though my knees were killing me, and then went to Hollywood Studios the next day, I think that was the first time in a while that just been fully present.
Yeah.
I wasn't really worried about social media. I wasn't worried about anything like that. I was worried about, taking pictures for us. But I don't even like being on my phone to take camp pictures and videos. Like Sheena loves that. And that's how she's like, I think she's in the moment that way.
Yeah.
But I feel like even like if I'm got my camera up and I'm watching the camera, watching the moment, I'm not in the moment. You
Right.
know what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah, taking videos that way are different. Like I'm good to Like, I'm glad that I did it a few times when we were in Hawaii. I took a couple pictures of some things, and I took a couple pictures of Sarah, and we took pictures together, and I'm glad we have those because I didn't
Mhm,
used to be like, there's rarely any pictures of me when I was younger because I was just, A, we didn't have a phone in our pocket everywhere we went, and B, like,
mhm,
when I started getting heavy, I didn't wanna be in pictures. I didn't wanna,
mhm,
I wasn't trying to do all that. So, there's a gap in there of pictures of me that just aren't that don't exist, and I it was a big thing for me when we went to, Kansas City when my daughter our daughter got married recently. We went and I made sure because I told Sarah, like, "I don't have pictures with the kids, like, when they're older." Like, I've got none.
mhm.
The last picture I have with Shay, she's a baby. Like, she's, like,
Right.
5.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, "Nah, we don't have pictures because by the time we had phones good enough to take pictures like that, she was gone." And I'm
Mhm,
like, "I just don't." So we took a bunch of pictures. I've got pictures with all the kids. I've got pictures with them individually. I got pictures with them all together. Then I've got a picture of the entire family. And I'm like, because you know, as you get older, you start thinking about that kind of shit. You're like, when it comes time for them to, have to have a service for me, as morbid as that sounds, like I want them to have actual pictures of me and with me and
mhm,
all that kind of shit, memories to look at. So it's become a little more
mm,
important lately, just for that side of it. But outside of that, like I leave my phone up most of the time.
mhm. Yeah, it's like it's an interesting conundrum for me because I know the pictures will help trigger the memories, but I also feel like the memory is tainted by trying to take the picture or the video, which I don't know what that's about. I might have to
No, I mean,
sit with
I
that a little
agree
bit
with you though.
more.
Like if you're taking video of what it is you're supposed to be watching, like you will not
Mhm,
have the memory because you watch the video because you
mm,
don't pay as much attention to it. It's kind of like when you go somewhere with your GPS. Like you're not going to remember the route you
mhm,
got there because the GPS told you where to go.
mhm.
And with a video, the same thing. You're like, well, I don't have to pay attention to it now because I can watch it later. So you're
Right,
not as connected with it.
right, right. I was trying to do that. I think I ended up getting on video, but I with the Twins' last volleyball game
Yeah.
in club, I was recording it and recording their last point, but I was like had the camera up, but I was watching the game because I wanted to watch. I didn't want to be in the camera. I wanted to watch. Because I wanted to remember the last point that they played in their childhood. So I don't know. Now it's adulthood. They texted me the other day. Man, I've been crying so much over this secretly, secretly. But Maria, they both sent me a TikTok the other day. It was two separate ones. So I don't know if they meant to. It was different times, but both of them were like, you know, I've never lived without my dad, but my dad lived without me. Um, and it must have been really boring or something like that before I was there.
Not only does that sound
um,
just like that, but it's
right,
also true.
right, right. Yeah. And then Amari hit me with, "It's gonna be real boring again when I move out, huh?" And I'm like, "Bro."
You're like, "I gotta stop.
Oof.
I know y'all are excited, but I am not. No, please
Yeah.
quit.
Right,
If you
man.
only knew what you were
Right,
doing to me."
right. If you only knew how much you're just stabbing the knife more into my heart,
Right.
bro. Oh. Anyway, man, see, that's oof.
Yep. Getting you. It's hard.
Mm, mm,
It's hard, bro. Like I'm telling you, they don't talk about that shit. They can give you all the
mm-mm,
manuals on parenting, all they want. Nothing prepares you for when they go. You
mhm,
worked all your life or all their life to raise independent, strong kids. And when that independence comes with, I don't need you to make it through
mhm,
anymore. You're like,
mhm.
what kind of shit is this? I gotta sign up for this shit. Yes, you do need
Yeah,
me. Like, what do you mean?
well, right, yeah. You always gonna need me.
Look,
Uh,
man, listen.
mm, mm.
Yeah, I get excited when Shay calls me with the shit now. She went a long time. She didn't call us for she didn't want our help. So she wouldn't call us. She
Mhm.
was just running headlong into walls. And then eventually when she started calling for stuff again, like me and Sarah both were just kind of like, it's a cool balance. Like, don't call me for every damn thing, but at the same time, like, it's cool that you recognize that you still need guidance with some stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, there's still some connection there. There's still yeah. Mhm. Anyway, jeez. Hmm. Fun feeling unproductive is a thought. Have you ever been in a moment where you're trying to have fun or trying to relax and it feels like you're supposed to be doing something?
All the time,
Mhm.
all day today. I
Mm.
laid in my bed, looked at the foot of my bed and all the shit that's at the foot of my bed, going, I really need to get up and put all that up. It's
Mhm.
just it's laundry. It's gym clothes and stuff that I have sitting on the edge of the bed that are at the foot of the bed that just need to fold and turn around and put in my closet. And it's just been sitting there. I have a suit and a
Mhm.
garment bag from when we were in Orlando like 4 or 5 months ago,
Mm.
and it's still down there,
Mhm.
still waiting on me to pull it out of the garment bag,
Mhm.
and
Uh,
it's still there today.
yeah, it be like that.
Yeah.
I got caught. Man, I started playing this stupid game again. I said I wasn't gonna do it, and then my son came over and downloaded some game on my Xbox. I'm like, let me see what this is.
Mm.
It's a story mode game
Yeah.
again. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so I finally finished it, but I'm like, the whole time I don't have any. I have stuff I need to do, but I'm also like in a place where I shouldn't have to really stress about doing something like that. But the whole time I've been playing, I'm like, I could be doing something else. 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 And it's like the brain just never shuts off from that
Uh-uh.
productivity.
Yeah, because it
Mm,
wants you to be doing other things, but at the same time, like my body's letting me know, like we were talking about it before we jump on here. Like the last 2 nights, I've gone out and done like karaoke stuff and been out till midnight, 1, 2 o'clock, and I'm like,
mhm,
I'm wrecked. I'm like, I'm tired.
mhm, mhm. Do you think that because this one hit me, like productivity replacing personality, like our personality becomes productivity.
Yeah, yeah. We are no longer who we are. We're what we do, what we
Mhm,
can provide.
mhm.
Yeah, no, 100%. We wear
I
it.
think that one
Yeah, we're
hits a lot of
we're like
people.
marathoners. We wear it as our identity.
Mhm. Right, right.
Marathoners, vegans, CrossFitters.
Mm.
You know, it's our whole. It's
Especially
our.
them CrossFitters, boy. CrossFitters are all about it. I do CrossFit.
I'm the best at exercising.
I can do all the things at
Right.
once. CrossFit.
Exactly.
If you can't if you can't bench press, do pull-ups and abs all at the same time, you're not shit.
You can't strap a bar with 245 plates on it to your feet and do pull-ups and leg
Mhm.
leg lifts at the same time. What are you even doing with your life? Come to CrossFit.
Right. Right. Come to CrossFit. If you can't run 3 miles while you're doing 70 push-ups and turning over a 1,000-pound tire, you're weak. You gotta do it all at the same
You're
time.
like, cute. You go to the gym. That's cute.
That's cute. I did that when I was 5. No offense, CrossFitters.
No offense.
No offense.
It's awesome for you.
Uh,
It's just not for
mm.
everybody.
I love that for you. Uh, man, I think about that though, but there's a lot of part of my identity that has been revolved around
Yeah.
productivity and providing, and for a long time I embraced that, and I still embrace the providing part. I mean, that's going to be my role whether I want it to be or not.
Sure.
But the productivity part, to where I just can't sit and just exist.
Yep.
And that was part of when we went to Orlando. was it last week or the week before
Week
last? It was the
before
week
last.
before last. Dang, it's already been golly, man. That's sad.
Yep,
That is sad to think about.
yep,
It's already been 2 weeks since we've been
yep.
there. That's wild. Anyway, like, that was my I even that was the first time in probably 4 years that I started practicing again that I cleared my entire calendar for the week.
Yeah, I was
I
shocked.
didn't see not
I was shocked when you
yeah,
said
I
that.
didn't see not yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't see not one client all week, and it was kinda I the whole week, I was like, "Man, I should have seen
Yeah,
somebody.
you're like, I could have
I
got
should"
one in today. I could have got one in at this
Uh-huh,
time. Like I wasn't doing nothing.
uh-huh. Right, yeah.
But that's the
I
point.
coulda
Like
got a few
the
in.
point of it is you have like sometimes you have to pull yourself away to lock back
Mhm,
in because we
mhm,
just get to a point where we go through the motions. And that's what I started noticing when I pulled myself away to go to the bathroom or make food or do whatever during my days when I actually take breaks, make it a point to take breaks. I come back more locked in. Like I'm not mentally hazy. I'm not like I don't drift off. I don't do all that stuff. Like I lock back in. I'm like, okay, now that I took some time away, let me jump back in here. Let me do this. And I am more productive when I take those breaks because I'm not just absorbed by everything that's in front of
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I still feel like I shoulda done something. I still feel like I shoulda done something. I don't know, I feel good about it, especially being off Wednesday, Thursday. I don't feel like I should have done anything those days when we were at the parks. But the other 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, because we were flying Friday, so obviously I couldn't do anything that day. But Monday and Tuesday, I still feel even though, like, what did I do Monday? Because we just chilled all day Monday, and then she was at her thing Tuesday, and I just chilled all day Tuesday. Yeah, I'm still like, "Man, I should have done something." It's hard to pull that
me. You
apart.
did do
It's
something. You
hard to
relaxed. You got
I
to
did
chill.
I did I did I did, but it's hard to see that.
Get
It's hard for me to register
get
that.
ready because you're gonna do it again here in a few weeks. Whenever we come back, you're gonna be taking some time off. Because I'm only there for like 8 days. So what I'm gonna need from you
Uh-huh.
is well, I got
Uh,
like 12 sessions to do. No, awesome.
nah, nah. I still gotta work, but because I got surgery coming up, so I gotta work.
Yeah,
So, um, but how do you reconnect with joy without blowing your life up? If somebody's listening, how could they reconnect with joy without blowing the life up? Because that's what it feels like at some point.
yeah,
Like I have got myself in this place where the snow is 4 feet deep, and the only way out is to keep doing what I'm doing,
yeah,
and that means not necessarily having a lot of moments of just joy and being present. It means working and juggling bills and trying to figure out how to pay off debt and get into retirement and do all the things. And how do we get the twins through college without them being in debt and Bubba through college? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
it feels like if I wanted to really reconnect with joy, it's going to take blowing my life up and doing something completely different.
Well, because we have to have that all or nothing thinking. We have to think that it all has to
Hmm.
be one way or the other. Like you can't just do, the one. It takes intentional planning for you to sit back and
Hmm.
say, there's strategy that goes into it. You have to sit back and go, okay, well, first off, you got to figure out what joy it is you want to reconnect with. So, for you right now, it's poetry. So you want to do that. You
Hmm.
want to connect with that little bit of yourself. So you take time to figure that out. You have to take time away, strategically plan, block off some time where you can sit in the space and think without interruption, without any of that shit, and just figure out how you want to do what you want to do. And it just
Hmm.
takes that little bit of planning on your part to be able to figure out what it is you want to do and really get back to a place where you can actively pursue that reconnection.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I got 2 weeks, so that's going to be, I got to do that. But yeah, I mean, I woke up this morning and a few lines hit me. So I got a few lines down of a new poem. But then it was like stuff just started coming to my head about other things that I needed to get up and I needed to do stuff and I needed it. So it didn't last long, but I had a few lines in there. So that was better than the last week that I've been trying to get something and nothing was coming. I finally woke up with something. So what's one thing that still genuinely makes you feel like yourself? Karaoke?
Pretty much anymore, which is so funny to me because I ran from it for so long, and now
Mhm.
it's like yeah, damn near has become part of my being now. I seek it out now everywhere I can. I've been looking at places to try to go when we're there. When I come home, I'm like,
Oh, did
yeah, I was
you?
like, where can we go there? I don't. It does not seem to
Mhm.
be as big of a thing there
Mm-mm.
as it is here.
I
So
have no idea.
yeah, I found a couple places, but they seem like a little shady. I'm not going to Southwestern to do karaoke. Sorry, I don't need to go anywhere down that area. No,
Come on,
no,
bro. You
thanks.
go over there off 23rd and Robson.
Nope.
It'll be alright.
There's got to be something in Midtown where the hipsters go. Got to be
Uh-huh.
something
We gotta
down
be
there
something
or
somewhere.
Bricktown somewhere.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I
yeah.
mean, honestly, but no, I mean, it's really just staying connected with the people that mean the most to me and the family, friends and family and stuff
Mm,
and I've been being way more intentional with that than I had been uh, before.
mhm.
So
Uh,
it's kind of grounded me in what my reality needs to be.
mhm. Yeah, I need to do that a little bit more. I was last night, Bubba came over and he wanted to take my car to go to a meet up again, but me and the wife were watching a movie, and then he started talking about something, and then he was like talking about the new Drake album, and have I listened to it yet? And I was like, "Nah, I ain't
Nobody
listened to
has
Drake's album
3
yet." He's
hours to
like,
listen to him ramble.
"Yeah." I'm like, "No, I haven't listened to it yet, son." He's like, "It is fire. You gotta listen to it. You gotta listen to it." And so then this dude puts it on the Bluetooth surround sound in the living room, just interrupts our movie. And it turned into an hour and a half of listening to Drake's
Oh
music.
my gosh.
And every time he's like, just one more, just one more. This is my favorite song. Okay, this is my second favorite song. This is my fifth favorite song. Okay, one more, one more. And before you know it, we're through like two of his new albums or whatever. And I'm like, and there was a moment in there where I was sitting there and I was like, I was like, son, like, it's been an hour and a half of listening to this now. It was supposed to be one song. But then another part of me was like, bro, that's like he's sitting there listening to music
Mhm.
with us. You know what I'm saying? And one day that's not gonna happen no more.
'Cause he's gonna be
Yeah.
caught in the same shit that we're caught in now, and it's gonna be
Uh-huh.
his avalanche is gonna hit him, and then he's going yeah.
Mhm.
I had to do that.
Yeah.
I had to do that too because if you story time with Jordan is just something that just happens, and he'll blow in like a fucking hurricane, and it's just
Mm.
story time, and he's just blah, and it's you get to and you just sit there and you're just like, "Fuck, okay." But I had to do the same thing. I had to be like, "Listen, like, it's cool that he still gets that excited to talk to me about stuff, and that he wants to tell
Mhm.
me things, and that he wants to be that connected." And I think the same thing. I'm like, there's gonna be times like where that doesn't get to I don't get to have that anymore. Like in the days that
Mhm.
and it's funny because now we went there was 2 days last week where he worked until like 9 o'clock at night. And by the time he got home, he went right to his room with bed. Like I heard the front door shut
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh, shit, here it comes. I was like, here comes the day's
Mhm.
download. And he just walked right by and went to his room. And I was just kind of like, the fuck? I was like, what kind of shit is that?
Right.
Like there's no daily download.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't need to know what happened today. But yeah, I mean, it's just one
Right.
of the. But he's the same way. He'll come in and do something, and before you know it, it's been 45 minutes to an hour, and he's just just going on about whatever it is he's talking about. But yeah, I mean, there's
Mhm.
it's you gotta think about those things and cherish it. Same thing like when people talk about when their kids were little bitty and they ask them all these 5,000 questions, and it's like one day they're not going to ask you shit. Well, one day
Mhm.
you're not gonna get to answer those questions anymore, and it's gonna suck.
Mhm. Yeah, the last question that we had was what would a healthier version of adulthood actually look like? And I think in our society anyway, I think that's part of it. It's just healthier a healthier version includes being more present, especially with your kids,
Yeah.
especially with your kids.
Well, it's in all aspects. Like the thing is like we get to a point where we give everything to the job. By the time we get off,
Mhm,
everybody else just gets what's left. They get spare parts, they get spare
mhm,
time, they get spare whatever. But they also get spare emotion. They get spare attention. They get
mhm,
spare everything else. So, like, Sarah and I fight about that shit all the time because she gives 110% to her. She's always present for her job. She's never not present. She's never not
mhm,
on, upbeat, locked in, doing the things. And when she's done, she's just like, I don't have anything left. And I'm like, well, that's kind of fucked up
mhm.
because I sit here all damn
Right.
day waiting, to reconnect with my partner, and I get pieces of a connection. I get, leftover spare
Mhm,
parts, and you're exhausted and you're over it and you're this or that, or you're emotionally drained and need to decompress, disconnect, all those things. That that's not healthy for anybody, for her, for us,
right.
for anything. So that's why I had to stop doing that because I would get so stressed, because it's busy season for me. So we're assholes and elbows till I could work all damn night and still be getting emails, and I get emails 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mm,
And I'm just like, bro, it's boat insurance. There's nothing that serious. Like, I'm not working until the morning.
mm,
Like, get out of here.
right.
But, I had to learn to just cut it off. I just shut it off, turned it off, and go. And I get she doesn't have that luxury because it's different what she does versus what I do.
Mhm,
But it just sucks knowing that, it's not the same amount that she's able to give to work and give to the people that she works with.
right. Yeah, there and I know we're gonna come back to hopefully come back to the conversation about burnout, but it won't have anything to do with what I'm about to say, but I think that a lot of therapists struggle with that. A lot of therapists struggle because I have clients that are therapists, and there's this belief that they have to be so present for all of their clients every moment of the day, and they have to give
Right.
their everything, and I was like that for a while, for a long time in the beginning in my candidacy especially, but I got to a place where I realized that no, they don't. They need me to be present. They need me to be there in the moment with them, and they also don't need me to give everything to them. My kids and my wife need something left over at the end of the day, and that was really helpful in helping with some balance. Because 'cause I'd come at home at the end of the day of a long day with clients, and I'd have nothing. I'd have 0, and it's like, you still got the kids and the wife there needing something, I'd have nothing. And so I had to learn that no, my clients, they need me enough. They need me enough.
Yeah.
They don't need every single part of me. They need me enough. That's it. And my kids need it more. So that was really helpful. But I think a lot of therapists struggle with that.
Oh, yeah.
They give everything and then they get burnt out and their family doesn't have much left and the kids don't have much left. And it's a hard deal to deal with.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Like it is, how do you balance the pie? Like we have to work, we have to pay bills. I mean, especially in our society, and our kids and our partner need us. And so how can we divvy up the pie to where everybody gets what they need to the best of our ability? I'm just saying, like, you don't have to be a perfect parent. You just have to, as a book, you don't have to be a perfect parent. You just have to be a good enough parent,
Right.
right? And so I think that's a healthier version of adulthood
Yeah.
that we need to find. So, well, any final thoughts, feelings, anything before we jump off here?
No, I just think find one thing that you feel like you've lost and try to reconnect with that one thing. And you may
Mm,
not get it the first time. It may not be, you may think it'll be something, and then as you start to try to connect with it, you can't find it. And it may not be exactly what you thought, as great as you thought it was, and you move to the next thing. But find something. Find at least one thing that you can reconnect with that you feel like you've lost in the rat race that has become life, in your avalanche, and try to reconnect with it. I think it's just a way to kind of help kind of de-escalate what has become, the shock and awe of daily life.
mhm. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, life didn't stop being fun overnight. It took time to get there. And, like we talked about, being slowly buried underneath responsibility, pressure, routines, all those things until we forget what it feels like, what feeling alive even felt like. And I think the scary part about that is that a lot of us have accepted that as normal. I don't know that I don't think it has to be. So just something to think about. So if this episode hit home, send it to somebody who's been carrying a little too heavy lately. And follow us at the MAJO podcast on YouTube, Spotify, all your podcast platforms, social medias, everywhere. Hit that follow button. And we'll see you next week, maybe. We might not. The goal is to see you next Wednesday, but you know how it is. Life be life. And so we'll catch y'all in the next
All
episode.
right, later, y'all.